Atlantic Television Network. Special Advisor, Ekiti State Bureau of Housing and Mortgage Development, Dr. Boyega Oloniyo, has reaffirmed the state government's commitment to provision of basic services and promotion of sustainable urbanization for quality lives. Oloniyo said the state government's partnership with the United Nations Habitat was part of efforts to ensure sustainable urban development and improving the quality of life in the communities in the state. The special advisor, who spoke in Ado-Ekiti during a media event on UN Habitat Scoping Mission in Ekiti State, said the government collaborative effort can address the pressing issues of urbanization, such as housing infrastructure, environmental sustainability, and social inclusion, adding that the three-day scoping mission will provide opportunities for the identification of areas of interventions with respect to technical assistance and collaborations for the sustainable development of the state, noting that the scoping mission provides a unique platform for dialogue, knowledge sharing, and collaboration among experts, policymakers, and stakeholders. He also said Ekiti State, under the administration of Governor Biodun Oyebanji, is committed to promoting sustainable urbanization towards ensuring access to basic services and creating resilient cities for citizens and charged technical personnel from various ministries in the state that all hands should be on deck to support the UN Habitat scoping mission that will undoubtedly enrich understanding and contribute to the formulation of comprehensive strategies for sustainable development. The state government says it has promoted over 12,933 civil servants in its service in the last 1 year and has concluded plans to employ over 1,000 health workers to fill the gap created by the workers who left the service. The state head of service, Kayode Ogundele, who disclosed this while speaking on the activities lined up for the 2023 Public Service Week themed Bureaucratic Impact on Investment Promotion in Ondo State, noted that the issue of Japa syndrome was currently a common phenomenon in Nigeria and has been ensuring that it was not affected negatively. He emphasized that the current administration of Governor Rotimi Akeredolu had been performing well in the area of the welfare of state workers, stressing that the administration had taken the workers' welfare as a top priority, adding that government had cleared the backlog of salary arrears of the state workers. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has declared as unconstitutional the Special Task Force on Illegal Smuggling of Firearms that was set up by Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State. A concerned indigene of the state, Amadu Danjuma, had in a suit challenged the establishment of the outfit, while Bello, through his lawyer, A.M. Adoyi, had insisted that the court lacked the jurisdiction to hear the case, which he described as incompetent. But Justice James Omotosho, in a judgment, declared that regulation of firearms in the country was not within the powers of the governor, being an item on the exclusive legislative list. The judge said the Department of State Services, the National Intelligence Agency, the Inspector General of Police, and the National Security Advisor were the proper bodies to regulate firearms in the country. Nigerians have been called upon to respect all road signs, avoid overspeeding and overloading so as to avoid road accidents, especially in the Ember months. The call was made by Sector Commander Federal Road Safety Corps of Kaduna Command, Kabiru Yusuf Nadobo, on Monday at Ahmadu Bello Stadium, venue of the flag-off and marking commencement of 2023 Ember Month Safety Awareness Campaign. Nadobo urged Nigerians, particularly drivers and other motorists in general, to be safe. Nadobo urged Nigerians, particularly drivers and other motorists in general, to be safety conscious, especially in the last quarter of the year, which, according to him, the nation's highways would record sharp increase in vehicular traffic due to the upcoming Yuletide season occasioned by Christmas and New Year's celebration. Here is the update. for Democracy and Human Rights has stormed the premises of the National Assembly to kick against the choice of Olukayode as the next EFCC chairman. The group's National Secretary Adebayo Ogori, during the protest, alleged that the choice of Olukayode contravened the extant laws guiding the appointment of the EFCC chairman, stressing that the action of President Tinubu is making the appointment of Mr. Olukayode into such a high office with enormous responsibility as the chairman of the EFCC is flagrant breach of the provisions of the law of the parliament and contrary to the oath he took on May 29, 2023. To protect and defend the laws of the nation. This is coming after the Senate on Tuesday received a letter from President Bola Tinubu seeking the confirmation of Ola Olukayode and Muhammad Hamajoda as the substantive chairman and secretaries respectively of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The president's letter was read at plenary on Tuesday by the Deputy Senate President Jibril, according to a statement signed by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Ajuri Ngalale. Mr. Olukayode's appointment followed the resignation of suspended Executive Chairman of the EFCC, Abdurrashid Bawar. Primary Healthcare and Development Agency and National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control are partnered to end cervical cancer and human papilloma virus by distributing tested and approved human papillomavirus HPV vaccines to girls from the age of 12. The Executive Director of Primary Healthcare and Development Agency, Dr. Faisal Shoaib, said, human papillomavirus is a human sexually transmitted virus which has been silent harbinger of many types of cancer, including cervical cancer. Dr. Shoaib said, cervical cancer is the most common cancer among women from age 15 to 49 years, and it is one of the cancers that cause fertility issues. In the same vein, the Director General Agency for Food and Drug Administration Control, Professor Moji Adeye, reiterated that cervical cancer is a major health problem in Africa and has been identified as the leading cause of cancer death among women. Joseph Moses reports.
2023, we will mark the national with support from NAFDAC, community-based organization, several stakeholders, including our esteemed partners, traditional and religious leaders. The introduction of the HPV vaccine is not just a medical advancement, it is a profound leap forward in our mission to protect the health and aspirations of our young girls. It empowers them to lead healthy lives and become the formidable women and mothers of tomorrow. By immunizing girls at an early age, we aim to shield them from the most common HPV strains responsible for cervical cancer later in life. The HPV vaccine has been scientifically proven to be safe and effective in preventing HPV infection and reducing transmitted infection that is a silent harbinger of several types of cancers, including cervical cancer. Tragically, cervical cancer stands as the second most common cancer among women in Nigeria and the second most common cause of cancer-related fatalities among women aged 15 to 49 years. Nigeria alone contributes an estimated 12,000 new cases of global cervical cancer annually. HPV infection has been identified as a high-risk factor implicated in 95% of cervical cancer cases. With 12,000 new diagnoses and 8,000 lives claimed each year, it translates to 33 new cervical cancer cases and 22 deaths every day in our country. In Nigeria, one precious life is lost every 2 minutes to this preventable disease. Regrettably, this insidious disease ranks among the leading causes of cancer-related deaths in 36 countries, including Nigeria. This is why the introduction of the HPV vaccine is a beacon of hope in our relentless fight against the burden of cervical cancer. Human papilloma virus is a commonly
there are some diseases that are silent killers for women, and cervical cancer is one of them. Ovarian cancer is another one. So having a vaccine is huge to prevent it. What is the disease burden of cervical cancer in Africa? Cervical cancer is a major public health problem in Africa, where it is the leading cause of cancer death among women. According to the World Health Organization, about 119,000 new cases and 81,000 deaths from cervical cancer occurred in Africa in 2020, accounting for 22.5% of the global burden. It's kind of a repetition of what Dr. Feza stated, but it's good for us to repeat. Nigeria, the most populous country in Africa, has one of the highest cervical cancer incidence and mortality rates in the continent, with an estimated 15,000 new cases and 10,000 deaths annually.
Welcome back. This is Atlantic Television Network Transition. Now to the rest of our stories. Senate on Tuesday went into a lengthy closed session after its chief whip, Ali Ndume, stormed out of plenary session citing errors committed which were not redressed. This is coming barely 10 minutes after commencement of plenary when the Borno South senator raised a point of order on alleged errors which were not corrected by the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio. The error, according to Ndume, was a motion moved by Senator Sumaila Kawu for debate on the need for reopening of Niger border without reading the title of his motion.
error by the Senate President Godswill Akpabio on a motion moved by Senator Sumaila Kawu for debate on the need for reopening of Nigeria-Niger border without reading the title of his motion. Ndume, who cited Order 51 of the Senate standing rules, requested the Senate President to allow for correction of any error made or observed in the plenary. But Akpabio quickly intercepted him by saying he has ruled on issue raised and it cannot be reversed, and consequently ruled Ndume out of order.
SP and distinguished colleagues, we are just starting the session, and as we go, we should be taking note of the small mistakes that we can make, and we should correct them. The issue of saying that you have ruled, if the ruling is wrong, even the Supreme Court, when it passes judgment,
Distinguished Chief Whip, your observation is noted. Senator Kawu, go ahead and move your motion.
Senator representing Kogi West, Sunday Karimi, previously had attempted to sustain Ndume's line of argument through another point of order, but was also ruled out of order by Senate President. In a troubleshooting effort, the Deputy President of the Senate, Jibrin Barao, quickly rose to read Order 16, which required a substantive move to be moved by any senator for correction or review of earlier decision made by the Senate President.
I respect with his motion, so that we don't continue to repeat this mistake again and again. Is Order 63. With your permission, I read. The President of the Senate, in the Senate, and the Chairman in any committee shall be responsible for the observance of the rules of order in the Senate and committee respectively, and their decision upon any point of order shall not be open to appeal. Shall not be open to appeal. Shall not be open to appeal, and shall not be reviewed by the Senate except upon a substantive motion after notice. So once you have ruled, nobody can bring up that matter again until a notice given and a substantive motion is tabled. So once you rule, you have ruled. Except we want to go against this.
Sustaining Barrao's point of order by the Senate President infuriated Ndume by raising another point of order to seek the correction of a preserved error, which was also ruled out by the Senate President. It led to a walkout by Senator Ali Ndume.
Leader of the Senate.
Mr. President,
resolve into a closed session to enable us to discuss matters of urgent national importance. Those who are in support of the motion say aye.
The walkout of Senator Ali Ndume left many senators worried, which led into a closed session with a view to resolving the issue. The issue was, however, resolved as Senator Ndume continued the plenary with other senators from the National Assembly Abuja. Rotimi Adewuyi, ATN News. 10 minutes.
Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Tajuddin Abbas, has called for a review of the budget allocation for the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation. The Speaker, who said the fund allocated to the office is not sufficient to audit over 900 ministries, departments and agencies of government, was speaking at an event in Abuja to unveil the Public Accounts Committee of the House of Representatives. Speaker Abbas, who was represented by his deputy, Honorable Benjamin Okezie Carlo, emphasized that it is essential to improve the inadequate resources of the Auditor General's office to ensure effective delivery of service and address any loophole in MDAs. He, however, charged the Committee on Public Account to ensure that agencies are held accountable and responsible where necessary. Here is the update.
Public Account Committee can never function properly except as a joint partnership with the Auditor General of the Federation. So I urge the Auditor General of the Federation to be up and doing so that their reports are always ready for the great task of the PAC committee. We are aware that Nigeria today, our leadership.
And in Nigeria, our journey so far one of our problems has been corruption. And this committee is set up primarily to fight waste and corruption. And I believe with the caliber of members we have, we will be able to do that. And then we have to look, what are the functions of legislators everywhere in the world? Our three major functions are legislation, representation, and oversight. That oversight function is largely to be carried out by this very important committee. It is my own prayer and wish that this committee will do its best for this country so that we get out of the problem of corruption.
Public Account Committee.
The House of Representatives Committee on Public Account, Honorable Bamidele Salam, in his address reiterated that his committee would apply transparency, independence and fairness to ensure that the goal to complete its activities are achieved. Here is the update.
The National Assembly is interested and committed to the Office of the Auditor General, and that helps us to discover that the resources available to this office, if we must speak the truth to power, is not sufficient to get the job done. A situation where 5 billion is committed to recurrent and 2 billion to capital. For them to audit a budget of 21 trillion in any global practices is not sufficient. What is at least adequate for that job to be done fully well is at least 1% of the total budget of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. In that case, we're talking about 218 billion. That is what that office needs, if they must do the job and do it very well. And we are committed, as the people with the power of the purse, to review the budget of the Auditor General's office, unless we don't want the 900 MDAs to be well audited. Like the civil society organization have mentioned, most of these MDAs were not touched, not because the political will to get them touched transparently to reveal